All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Some Crypto. It is October 29th, 2025, 11:28 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. BTC just about like 112,000 on Coinbase, right? So in today's content, we'll just go back to our basically our basic analysis regarding the weekly 21 EMA and the BTC overall structure and what we could be looking for over the next like a few weeks or even like a few months, right? So as we said in our last update, BTC broke below the weekly 21 EMA. However, the following week, BTC got back up, above the weekly 21 EMA. Even though we got back up above the weekly 21 EMA, if we take a look at our MACD on a weekly basis, it is still not synchronizing with the price action, and it is still being what it is being negative, as you can see. And the negativity of the MACD is not small. Okay, it means like price action will need some big moves to the upside for the MACD to go back up positive. But as of now, the dominant trend is a weekly time frame, and we'll see over the next like a few weeks if price action will violate again the weekly 200 EMA and try to go down to the weekly 50, which is right now just about like 100k 101, right? And the secondary support going to be the uh, weekly 100 EMA if you just take a look at it on the weekly, right? So weekly 100 EMA as of now just about like a mid 80s, okay, 85k to be exact, right? However, in term of wave analysis, if we just stick to the wave analysis, anyone can basically see the flat correction right here. Okay, it is a double top, double bottom. 9 out of 10, I tend to say okay, it is a bullish pattern. However, as we discussed in our last update, the 4-year cycle, it is 90% down, right? So if you take a look at the 4-year cycle, let's say that's our 4-year cycle right here, right? And this is a 20, let's say 2021, right? Let's say that's 2021, right? Leroy 2021, okay? And then now it is 2025. What we have left in this cycle, it is a small portion, right, of the entire 4-year cycle. So let's say just about like a 5 to 10%. I mean, 5% might be a lot. Okay. Let's say 1 to 3% left in the 4-year cycle. That's why it is not so important as of now to be drawing some bullishness unless price action decides to basically flip bullish, meaning like the weekly MACD, right, has to flip positive, and price action, of course, has to basically take out bare minimum the 120k, 122k area with a positive 3D MACD. Okay, other than that, just have to be very, very cautious with the what we have left in the 4-year cycle, because we talked about it back in 2022 when BTC was at 15k. We said regardless of the type of drop we're going to get, we could get from like a 15k and lower, right? It could just be a correction in price, not a correction in time. Meaning like even if price dropped from like a 15k down to 13k, 14k, whatever, it would have been like probably in an daily candle or like a 3-hour candle, stuff like that, right? And then we would be getting the reversal. That's why we were screaming back in 2022 at the bottom, saying like, okay, just accumulate right here, no need to be panicking. And then, in October, November 2025, regardless of the price action, whether we hit 180, whether we hit 200K, must reduce exposure. Could BTC go up much higher? Absolutely. It can go up to like a 200K, 300K, 500K, but the timing is very, very important. It is not time to be excessively, uh, you know, it is not time to be excessively bullish in the market or excessively having a high exposure in the market until basically what these indicators synchronize with price action, and then basically break out above the resistance area. Even a breakout in this area, it is not necessarily a bullish pattern because it could print a W. Okay, I'm not saying it will, but it could print a W. So if it goes up even like to a 120 and higher, the risk, you still have to manage the risk just in case we get a W and then get the flush to the downside, right? So those are the few things I just wanted to cover, right? The double top, double bottom, it is obviously there, so we cannot ignore it. However, the dominant trend, it is the weekly, and the dominant indicator, it is the weekly MACD, right? It is still a negative. Okay, in term of time, as I just said, 2021 to 2025, you don't need no calculator. It is a 4-year cycle. Okay, so the BTC 4-year cycle is 99% completed. It is time just to be cautious. You know, not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy or sell, but I'm just telling you what I'm saying. Regarding the market, just like what we discussed right here. It doesn't mean like I'm gonna be right, or uh, you know. It doesn't mean like I'm going to be right regarding the market tapping in terms of cycle, right? But the thing is, like, you just have to be very, very practical in terms of the 4-year cycle. Stay with the game plan, and the game plan was like to get in right here and to get out right there. Okay, in terms of time, okay, getting in 2022, right? November, October, November 2022, right? And to get out October, November 2025, right? Because you think about it, right? We're not going to get another 7x from here, right? The most we could get from here, probably 50 to 60%, right? And BTC has already pumped nearly over 7x from the bottom, okay? Even though most of us did not catch the absolute bottom, it has pumped like nearly 8x, okay, 700%. And it is still, 7x from the absolute low. Even if your average back then was like, let's say 20K, BTC is still up 5x. And the drop, could be severe. If we're going to get a drop, it might not be a 10% drop. It could be a 20, 30, or even 40% drop. Who knows, right? To retrace down to the weekly 21 EMA. But all of that could be negated if market decides to basically break out above 120. That could be complete. We could completely throw that out of the window, and then be looking for higher highs and all that good stuff. But as it look right now, the best thing to do is just to be safe and let market do the work. Okay, let these guys do the work, and then you just follow the overall structure. All right, guys. Hopefully it is clean, clear, and ready to go. If you want to join the premium group, link in the description, the YouTube link in the description. You can join my Discord premium group. We also got a Telegram, public group. Everything in, in the description.